over to review questions. Okay, who is a resident? A resident, you must be a resident of the state. You must have established that you're legally there, whether we're in Texas, Michigan, Nebraska, Florida, New Mexico. You have to show something that you are a resident of the state. So 73% there. Next. Under law, can the Secretary of State issue an original driver's license to someone who is not a legal resident? The answer is no. So some people move to states, try to get residency, but they're not able to do this. So residency is really important. Example, if we lived in Texas and the next country over is New Mexico, some people might want to try to come to our state to say, hey, I'm a resident, but they have nothing proven that they're actually from the state. Driver's education segment 1, you must at least be 14.8. It varies from state to state. You must have permission from your parent or guardian. You must have 24 hours of class, 6 hours of driving, and 4 hours of observing someone. You will know that driver's licenses or real IDs is real ID compliant because it has a star. More and more states across the United States, it varies. Some states have a star. The other one could be a bird. But more states are pushing toward being real ID compliant. And it's really important if you plan to travel in and out of the state, in and out of the country. If we lived in Texas, we want to travel to New Mexico. If you have a real ID, and granted, we're not in Texas, but if we were, Texas residents would have probably maybe a cowboy or a horse on there. So I think it depends on the voters and what they want. What must you do if you drive and if you're new to becoming a resident? You must immediately get the title and the car registered. A lot of people buy cars out of the state, out of the country. You have 30 days to get those cars or trucks titled and registered. What will the Secretary of State do if you are new? You must contact your previous home state to obtain your driving record. Some people with bad driving records, let's pretend we lived in Texas. Your license was suspended. You moved to New Mexico. You moved to Illinois. You moved to Michigan. You moved to Kansas. Well, you could technically maybe start a new license. So they will call the past state to make sure of your driving record. What happens if your out-of-state driver's license is revoked or suspended? You must contact the previous state to clear any outstanding tickets or warrants. You might need a real ID compliant license or state ID if you have a valid U.S. passport or do not fly. The federal government is cracking down on this. So those of you who travel, and Hawaii is part of the intercontinental United States. I believe the Cayman Islands are too. Don't hold me to that. But they're trying to make it so everyone is compliant. Travelers can travel. People can move back and forth from location to location with the least amount of hassle. But we still have to follow the rules and laws. What types of licenses require additional testing and background? Chauffeur's license and commercial driver's license. To apply for a license, there could be no more than one conviction on your driving record within 3 years. So if you have a bad driving record, you might not be able to apply, or you might have to wait till those tickets clear. What is an operator's license? A basic license. You can just drive. A chauffeur's license allows you to drive a vehicle under 15,000 pounds. A CDL is a commercial driver's license. You're driving big trucks. A motorcycle license allows you to drive a motorcycle. So there are different types of licenses. What is the chauffeur's license? Operating a vehicle as a courier of passengers or a common or contract carrier of property, operating as a bus or school bus. I have a chauffeur's license, but I don't have a. I probably could drive a school bus, but I don't have a I don't have a commercial license to drive a school bus. Um, let's keep going. Commercial's driver's license. You're required if you're operating a single vehicle, gross weight over 26,001 pounds. Combined towing trailer, 10,000 pounds. I have a 18-foot open trailer in my 1968 Gen 1 Camaro. The trailer and the car weigh less than 7,000 pounds, so I don't need a CDL. But if it was over 10,000 pounds, I would need a commercial driver's license. 42%, oh my goodness, what is the motorcycle endorsement CY? It requires you to complete a test, successfully pass the educational course. Graduated license, a lot of states are having graduated license, level 1, level 2, level 3. What is a MOPE license? A valid operator's license may be used to operate on the roads. You are not eligible for a license if your operator or chauffeur's license is suspended. So let's pretend my chauffeur's license got suspended, my regular license got suspended. I'm driving a moped to work. I can't do that. That's harsh. Unlicensed teen of 15 or under without parental consent. So you see a lot of these streetcar takeovers. You see a lot of teens on mopeds and four-wheelers. They're breaking the law. The police are going to end up taking their vehicles, and they're going to be crying. 30s, oh my God. The real ID, guys, you'll be in trouble if this was 2025. The next test will have real ID questions. I'm telling you now. If you choose not to get a real ID compliant card, your standard license or state ID will not for federal identification. So you can't go into a court. You can't go on a military base. You can't go into a nuclear facility. Bruh. What does the R stand? Double R stand for recreation, pickup truck, pulling a fifth wheel trailer designed for living purposes, a second trailer attached to the rear of the trailer, fifth wheel. So those are heavy duty, purposely built vehicles. What is an enhanced driver's license? I have one of those. You should consider getting one that allows you to travel and re-enter the United States, Canada, Mexico, Bermuda, and the Caribbean islands without the need of any additional documents.
My dad has on his card, my dad has a star, like a American flag or star.
Yes.
On the bottom, so he can go to Canada stuff for something in there. She don't take it.
What you said. So you have to, guys, you're going to have these types of requirements if you want to travel outside of the country. Residents boarding a plane or domestic flight in the United States or entering federal facilities, a jail, a military base, a nuclear power plant, you must be Real ID compliant. If your license is expired and you move to a different state or another state, you must apply for a temporary instruction permit, a TIP. No, you don't need a special license to drive your mama's shopping cart. If you are under 18, you must successfully complete the graduated license. Parents or guardians should check with their insurance agent about the appropriate coverage. You need to check with your insurance company once you start driving because your insurance rates might go up. A graduated license, you must complete segment 2, driver's education, meet the requirements of each of the 3 licensing segments. Tell me what you learned. This is a very deep course. We're talking about some of the state requirements. Every state is different. We know that beginning drivers don't judge distance very well. You must be Real ID compliant if you're traveling to Canada, Bermuda, Mexico. If we were in Texas, you might be able to have special requirements just to drive there. If you're not, then you won't be able to. You don't want to scare your parents. A lot of beginning drivers scare parents because you pull out in front of traffic. Beginning drivers have a difficult time judging distance. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I teach adults and teens. If you have questions, let me know.
I can't hear your
Bye.